Okay, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. In Brazil, it's afternoon still. And also for our special speaker, she's in the USA, Brazilian born like me. Welcome, Marta. I don't know much about her because I haven't met her in person yet. Bruce, our CEO from English Brazil, introduced us not long ago, I think 2 weeks ago, and she participated in one of the sessions. I fell in love, let's say. I was so amazed by her that I said, girl, I have to book you right away. And she said, yes. So here we are, and I'm so glad she did it. Okay, Marta, please tell us a little bit about you, and then we can start with the questions. Once again, welcome.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, I'm about to turn 50 in July. So, I'm Brazilian. I was born in the South. That makes me a gaúcha. But when I was 11, I moved to Vitória, Espírito Santo. And then when I was 19, I went to São Paulo. So I basically live almost 10 years in each state. And then after São Paulo, capital, right? The capital, São Paulo, I went to a pretty cool project. And if you have watched my presentation video, is how I got to visit so many countries, because I was doing a humanitarian mission work in a Christian ship that sails around the world. So I did that for 2 years as a volunteer. And after that, I married to a South African guy that was in this ship. We lived in Brazil, in Paraná, Espírito Santo, in the south of Brazil. So we lived almost 10 years together, but we got divorced. So I went back to Espírito Santo, which is up, just in a state just above Rio de Janeiro in the coast, where my family lives. So I lived there for until last year, actually. So I reconnected to an American friend that I've met in Italy when I was on the ship in 2004. And we are married now. He's American. So so we are living here now. And with the ship, I could visit 28 countries, but I have visited in total 36, actually. I thought 35. I think in the video I said 35, but it's 36. I forgot to mention United States, actually. So, I could visit countries in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia and Africa, and of course, Latin America and North America. So that's it for now.
Wow,
Kids.
thank
I have 2
you.
kids, Nick and Daniel, 10 and 12. And my husband works with aviation. So
Thank you, Marta. That was my question, actually. Talking about kids, like after having this amazing life, traveling and being so independent, how is it for you how it was for you to navigate from settling down, having children, and being put in one place? Do you still have difficulties with that, or it's just fine now?
no, it's not fine. I want to go to places.
I have the
But
same bug. I call it's a bug because I have a
yeah,
similar story that from you, and I've been living in Belgium for 20 years, but I I really love traveling, and it's tough sometimes. It's like we have a bug. It's not
yeah.
easy.
I didn't travel so much after have kids, but only on vacation. So the vacation experience in a country is completely different than the experience that I had in the project that I was on the ship. Because on the ship, actually, you live in an international community on board, and everybody's a volunteer, so everybody's there to help the project. It's not a cruise liner or anything like that. So you there, you help inside, outside with projects and everything, and you get to meet the local people, not really as a tourist. So you develop friendships. Like if you go to a country as a tourist, then you're not really friends with the receptionist. Like it doesn't become your buddy. I mean, you can eventually, exceptionally, have a friendship with someone, but it's very difficult to get into people's homes to see how they live. So I've been in tribes in Madagascar, and I got inside of, like shacks, and I've been to the United Arab Emirates, and I've been to a very rich home. So you can get to know people, which is very, very good experience. And but even if it's for tourism, it's also good because you also get to learn more about the culture. But the intention of going to the culture, because we are doing also humanitarian work, it makes the whole purpose even greater than just having fun. You can have fun, you can rest, you can visit, you can do tourism, but you were there for a bigger cause, like making the world a better place. Like we're in education, so there's a lot of projects with schools, so we would get to go to schools, or school kids would come on board, because the ship is the largest floating bookshop on earth, so it's very big project. So there's a lot of things happening on board, on shore, and actually, this is a plan of ours to actually go back as a family. Not now, because our process for citizenship is going to take about 2 years. So we want to do this first, and then going out in and out of the country would be much relaxed for us. But this project you can do as a family. We can do as you can do as a single. You can do as a senior. It's really cool.
All right. But how did you get the job? I mean, it's really volunteering, like you get no salary whatsoever. How can you
Yeah.
survive the 2 years? You
No.
just it's
Yeah, it's volunteer is connected to church. So in my case, part of my expenses were paid by a group of friends, my family, and my church. But some people has only family paying, some people has only, depends where, because this ship there was 350, yeah, almost 400 people on board. It's 350, because there is some changes through the year. So 350 people from 45 different nationalities. So depends on the country that you come from, might change a little bit. But it's a humanitarian job. So it's like a lot of people volunteers to help you to do this. So you don't get paid, but you are very rich indeed, because the learning process is something that nobody can take away from you. What you see around the world, the experiences you have, it's really enriching. So it's amazing. It's for us is a plan to do as a family. My kids are excited because the ship actually went to Brazil, and I helped as a translator, and also the lineup team, like the whole preparation of the ship in Vitoria. And my kids got to be on board as well for a while, and they're like, "Mom, we gotta go. We gotta be with them." So I'm very glad that they enjoy the ship's life. So yeah.
all right. I don't see any hands raised, so I'm gonna keep asking you. Oh, okay, Vanderlei, please go ahead.
Okay. If you want to go ahead, I'll go after you, Simone.
No, no.
Okay. Okay. Mine is just because, okay. So I lived in Virginia, which is kind of like Washington, D.C., Maryland,
Hmm.
right? So I don't remember if we went to Maryland, although I remember we had crab cakes that were very popular in Maryland.
It's
Uh,
very nice.
Tell us about, okay, Simone already knows I always talk about food. I can't help it. I love food. So so tell us like what the cuisine is like in Maryland, if you don't mind. Because, and also, is your boat on the Chesapeake Bay?
Well, we haven't been there yet, but the area that we live is close to the water, let's say, because here is kind of a bay too, so the water is even mixed. It's like a half salty, half sweet. It's kind of,
We call it brine water or
yeah. So
mix.
it's kind of different from me that come from the beach. Like you have salty water, waves and stuff. So It's very beautiful here because you can go to restaurants that are just like by the shore, let's say. And the crab is actually the symbol of this area. So you're gonna see a lot of everything made out of crab, which for me is like, okay, I know crab, but like from the sea, right? But they do a lot of good stuff here of crab. I'm impressed. The whatever they do here, I like it. I like it a lot. And of course, meat, because I'm gaúcha, so of course. When I say barbecue is a little bit disappointing because barbecue in Brazil, especially from the south, is like completely different to what they have in mind, which is just hamburger patches cooked outside. And also barbecue is just cooking outside. So you can barbecue hot dog sausage, which for us is like, there's not even a meat for
Wait,
Brazilians.
by the way,
But
I'm gaúcho also. I'm a gaúcho also.
sorry, come again?
I said I'm a gaúcho also. I was born in Rio Grande do Sul.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Porto
Cool.
Alegre.
Porto Alegre, the capital. I
Yeah.
was born in Panambi, which is much west side.
Mhm.
A small German area. So yeah, but we went to the Fogo de Chão here actually in Washington D.C. Very beautiful by the national park. There is a harbor. It's very beautiful. Freaking expensive. I think it's the most expensive restaurant I've been here in America so far. Was this Brazilian steakhouse. Is very expensive. And the meat, sorry to say, wasn't the best too. So I was a little bit disappointed. But anyways.
All right. Richard, thanks, Vanderlei.
Yes, thank you. Let me try and lower my hand first with all these Marta, yeah, thank you. My questions are quite simple. You've already told us where you're from in Brazil. I just want to know how you ended up traveling to South Africa and your experiences of South Africa. Particularly, you were talking about barbecue, and it's something that's a word we don't use here at all.
It's a braai.
Braai. And like Brazilians, we braai real meat, not hot dogs or burgers. Yeah, I'd like to know what your experiences were of South Africa and what you could tell us, tell me, as a person that's born in Brazil, of how you felt South Africa is like.
I love South Africa. I think South Africa is like my top 3 countries in the world. I really love it. I've been there 3 times or more, if I'm not mistaken, because I was married to South Africa, so we went there to visit too. So I went to Richards Bay, which is beautiful. I went to Durban, which is on the other side, and then we also went to Cape Town, Joburg, Pretoria, and we did one of the most beautiful experiences in life, which I strongly recommend, is the safari, right? So we went to the Kruger Park, and I totally recommend you guys. It's amazing to be out in the natural world with all these beautiful big animals and small ones as well, with no cages and stuff. And it's, for me, we are so blessed that we actually saw 5 lionesses just in front of us. Like, our park was, we stop our car, and then this 5 lionesses out of the blue, we couldn't see because when they go down, you cannot see anything because the bush is just like the color, right? So they're really, really good camouflage. So one stood up and the other stood up, and then right on the other side of the road, there were 2 buffaloes, and one left and the other one was sitting down. And then we realized that they were going to have lunch. And we are
Wow.
so blessed. That is so amazing. They actually walked just in front of our cars, those big, beautiful animals. And they like surrounded the buffalo just on the other side. And we are in the car. Oh my God, this is it. Oh my God. And we saw them like it was amazing so quietly, and then they went after the buffalo, and the buffalo started like jumping, and then they got into the bush, so like we couldn't see anything. So, but it's amazing. It's like our heart was like, oh my god. So for me, South Africa is amazing. I think every Brazilian should visit. I'm not going to say an African country because I haven't been to all the African countries, but if you're going to visit an African country, which I strongly recommend, go to South Africa first because it's very well structured countries. It have good roads, it's safe, and compared to other countries, right? Yes, they have, you need to be careful a little bit, but Brazilians know how to be careful. I think this is not a problem. Like when you talk to Europeans, it's completely different. They don't know what dangerous neighborhoods are. But you don't need a visa to go to South Africa. Our money the value of our money is bigger than theirs, so you really can buy stuff. It's not like dollar or euro that you're like, oh my gosh, you do the conversion. Actually, the conversion is the opposite. Our money values more than their money, so you find things cheap. Which is like a very nice feeling. In very few countries the Brazilian has this experience, right? So it is beautiful, all the tribal experience plus the multi-colorful. Also, they have a strong Indian culture, and you have, of course, the Europeans and everything there. It's so beautiful, artistically speaking, historically speaking, and you can practice your English. And of course, they have accent. You're gonna talk to the tribal people, my friend. It's very different to talk to an Afrikaner. And also historically, I went to the Fur Tracker museum. Wow, I learned a lot how the Europeans came and why. It was actually very interesting. When we learn history in Brazil, we learn, right, that the Europeans were going all the way to India and they have to stop in Cape Town, right? And have all that. And then suddenly here I am at this strip to the most furthest south of Africa, right where I've heard the stories of the pioneer people, and then how even Brazil was discovered. And you can see some shipwreck like on shore. It's just this history coming alive, like it's really there, right? So you have this sense of humanity, of history, of um, past, and how precious is how to you're gonna make your own history, right? So how you're gonna live. Of course, bad decisions were made, but we also made some bad decisions sometimes. So you have to to think about where you came from and how beautiful is the diversity. We have this in Brazil, the diversity of people. Thank God. I love that we are different. And I love to see this different world and how people live with different food, different music, different languages, different clothing, different way of eating. This is awesome. And South Africa, for me, I really have a special place in my heart for them.
But Marta, can you please tell us, like Richard was asking, which are the things that you can compare to Brazil, South Africa and Brazil? Which are the things that you say, oh, it's really similar?
I would say, like, if you go to Cape Town, you can easily associate to Rio de Janeiro, like the music, the people, the friendliness. People are more loose. People are dancing and drinking, and it's like you can remember. Like there's a lot of singers, and they sing very nice songs. Those guys who wear those colorful suits. I don't know the name of those guys.
They call the Cape Coons.
Yeah, the
And it was
Cape Toons.
a racist name in the beginning, but they were slaves. And it was a slave party in history of South Africa that would have once a year allowed by the owners. So they would dress up as clowns and with umbrellas, almost like the Mardi Gras in Brazil.
O
Exactly the same.
frevo. Yeah.
Chinese thing and stuff like that, different. And they would play trumpets and and they would have the Mardi Gras type of stuff like that. And we've even created that in South Africa now. We have a Cape Town Mardi Gras. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, because the Mardi Gras is actually comes from India, right? It's the Indian tradition. But in Brazil, you have frevo, which is kind of, let's say, the parallel. It's not the same, but it's like very, very, I think the people from Cape Town, the culture itself, the nightclubs and all that is you a lot of bars and people in the street, and I think is related pretty much with what we can find in Rio de Janeiro, right? If you go to Joburg, it's pretty much like São Paulo, a lot of buildings and heavy traffic, and so you can relate. Like I lived in São Paulo, so when I was in Joburg, like okay, I've been there, you know. And if you go to Pretoria, would be something like our Brasilia. It's not really the same, but it's like a lot of buildings, a lot of history, and it's quite more formal, you know, a little bit more distance, not a lot of people in the street. Just like Brasilia, I don't know if you guys have been to Brasilia, but you know, this is pretty much what I feel like the reference. But of course, the tribal traditions, because we have, you know, this slave history in Brazil, so we can relate to that as well. Um, some things with the food, depending on what you're talking about, I think also you can find in Brazil, but not so much when it comes to Indian part. We don't have that in Brazil. Indian culture is not as strong in Brazil at all. Like even to find an Indian restaurant in Brazil is hard. Even São Paulo, that you have restaurants from everywhere, but it's not like a culture. But apart from that, you can. There are a lot of things you can relate, like the beach life, a lot of surfing competitions, the wildlife, and when it comes to the sea. And some part of the animals, of course, they have the big five you don't have in Brazil, but the jungle, let's say, because of the Amazon, we have some relationship with that. So you can connect in many ways.
All right. That
And
was
there is
great
this
answer.
street in I think it's Pretoria. They have this Jacaranda street, and it's beautiful. And we have a lot of jacarandas in Brazil. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Okay, Marta, thank you. Javi is reading for a while. Let's hear her out. Maybe she's gonna talk about something else. Okay, Fabia, please.
Hello.
Hi
Uh,
there.
Marta, it was really interesting to listen about your work, your humanitarian job. And I'm very curious to ask, for this work, you need special education or special skills or experience? Just interesting how you start this work, because it
Okay.
sounds amazing. You're traveling all the time. And I thought maybe it's every person can do this work.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The name of the organization that takes care of this project is called OM, is Operation Mobilization, and they have more than 400 projects around the world. So they have projects in Nepal. They have projects like about themes, for example, education. They have about health, sports. They have many different topics and types of projects. You can go for a vacation break, you can go for 2 weeks, you can go for 1 year, you can go for 2 years. There are different range of how much you can get involved. And they are very creative. I have a friend, they went on bicycles to Malawi to help people by bicycle. So they were from village to village with a van just to support. And then yeah, they're very creative. They are Christians, so they have to have some Christian background, you know. But you can go. You need to be just 18 upwards. If you go by yourself, you need to be more than 18 years old up. But if you're married, if you have kids, if you're retired, I mean, you can go too. Because, for example, on the ship, specifically the ship, they have two ships, and it's like a floating city, like because they have a school for the kids, they have a hairdresser, and everybody's a volunteer. The teachers in the school, the captain, and the engine room, like everybody, they are there. Not to make money, they are there just to serve. So we actually take care of the ship itself. So when the ship is visiting a country, there is a team that goes before and prepare the visit. So this team that goes before, they check the need of that place. If they need more like humanitarian help with let's say an education area. So we donate books, we donate, like in Sudan, for example, we actually built 2 schools. So in partnership with other organizations, these other organizations, they buy the material, they send by containers to the port where you're going, and we go, as the manpower. We have some engineers on board and doctors and everything, and dentists and lawyers. Like I was a businesswoman, like I have no technical experience, but I could mix the sand and I could help doing this. And they tell you how you can help. You can paint, you can help houses that are broken. So we do this as well. So there are like in Sri Lanka, they helped establishing like to put more sinks in a prison. One of the biggest prison they have there. They take shower in a very different way that we do. So they need those sinks that they would use so they can actually shower and whatever is very different. So when we were in Djibouti, it was a very poor country. We went to a slum, and our medical team, everybody went to help treating people. So I wasn't a doctor, but I was like helping lining the kids and getting their names, assisting. So you can assist even though you're not from that area, but you can help in many other ways. On top of that, the ship is a bookshop. So a lot of people come to visit, and the books are sold like very, very cheap. Because one of the mottos of this project is bringing knowledge, help, and hope. So bringing knowledge through the books. So a lot of donation books, and it's not just donation. Like we go to the schools, we do a drama for the kids. We teach them like to love one another, to respect. We show the ship as we are from so many different countries. We should respect one another. We are from different cultures, even different religion backgrounds. Like we don't have to impose. We have to learn how to live together and help one another. So it's hope for living in a better place. And of course, because we're Christians, we're going to point out to God, to Jesus. But in places that we are not allowed to share, for example, in Muslim countries, I had the opportunity to visit 7 Muslim countries. And Muslim countries is offensive to we cannot really do this openly because they cannot change their faith like publicly. They can get in trouble. So we teach to love one another, to respect. So we the principles of Christianity, understand? Because our goal is not to bring trouble and not to bring problems to the people that we visit, but to bring hope, to share, to bring. We have a lot of books, cooking, education, sports. Is like more than 5,000 titles. And we do a lot of donations and sell books for like $1, $3, like very cheap, because it's not to make money, it's to really bring knowledge and help, because we do a lot of humanitarian work, a lot, like almost every port we do, we actually try to do if you cannot do it like specifically, we do it through donations. And these donations is really, we train a lot of teachers. We help a lot of people learning English, interacting. We have a lot of local volunteers that they're going to come on board. They're going to get training on English or something specific. For example, I was one of the trainers to teach teachers to learn how to do puppets, because I was a puppeteer back home. Like in my church, I used to do a lot of puppets, and I became a puppet master. And so one of the things I would teach how to use puppets to teach at school, not necessarily to do Christian story, you know what I mean? Like, but as a resource. So we would donate puppets or teach them how to do sock puppets from what they have, So it was really cool, very nice experience. And you can do with any profession. And it's a lot of stuff happening all the time. Usually we would spend 15 days in each port. So there's a lot of change. So you are like in a country speaking one language in 15 days. You're in a whole country speaking another language. And you learn a lot because, for example, when you got into the Middle East, you have a training for that place, cultural. So they tell, like, you cannot wear spaghetti t-shirt, nothing too small, no shorts. You have to wear long skirts, and we all adapt. We all adapt. We all change our clothes. If you have to wear, always like have a scarf because depending where you go, you have to cover your head. In Egypt, uh, we women we're not allowed to go by ourselves, so we have to be in groups for safety because in Egypt it was a little bit more complicated because safety issues. But it was amazing. I literally have friends all over the world, and I love this. And then through Facebook, you can get in contact. It's awesome. I love it.
So if I understand correct, every person can join in this work.
Yeah, they will ask about your faith, and then if you have a Christian, agreement and background, then it's like we want to share God's love. So let's say you don't believe in God. I understand that might be something that they will ask about it. You know what I mean? Because um you don't need to be Presbyterian, or that you can be different backgrounds. But I think the requirement is in this case is to be a Christian. But there are other projects, for example, mercy ships. If you have any medical, um, if you are in the like a nurse, a doctor, whatever, they do only medical support for. This is another project from another group called IWAM, and they do only medical support. And it's not about education and anything. So all this stuff and the projects is they have equipment on board, so they don't have a bookshop on board. They have like a hospital on board. Understand? So they do like very very complicated surgeries, and it's beautiful. Their job is also beautiful, helping a lot of people, especially in Africa. But they go to different countries too.
Okay, I think she answered you, Gabia, right? Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. It was interesting.
All
Really.
You're
right,
welcome.
Carlos, welcome.
Hello guys. Excuse me for
Hey.
being late. I was thinking about this meeting 5 o'clock in Brazil, but it's 3 o'clock. Excuse me. You said that something about Vitória. You see, I am Capixaba. I was born in Espírito Santo. Okay, I moved to Curitiba in 1982 or in 1987. Okay, and I want to know from you what the religion of your organization is. Presbyterian. And about the now in the US, okay, you live in Baltimore, Maryland.
I live in Maryland, but closer to Washington D.C. Baltimore is
Okay.
it's like 2.5 hours. Is very far from where I am because I'm very close to the coast area, like to the bay here.
Okay, understand. I want to know about the now we have a different approach to the immigrants in the US. Okay, it's not a political issue, okay, just to know something about the how are the situation in the US now with the immigrants from Latin America, from Asia, Africa? Do you know something? Do you have some volunteer work in this area of the immigration?
I myself not aware of that, but I don't know really. What I can see from the news and from what we hear is that the board now is way much like less people coming in, and they have like this week is Cinco de Mayo, which is like a Mexican holiday, but there's a lot of Mexicans here, so they were a little bit concerned that if they celebrate something might happen. So some people are like, no, you guys can do it. So I just heard something in the news, but I myself not involved. I just know that people now have to, it's not that easy to just to cross the board. in my personal opinion, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I think is right. I don't think is wrong. I think what was happening, it was very bad. The scale of what was happening was very bad, especially because I work in these humanitarian organizations. The smuggling of kids is, and a lot of trafficking of kids is we don't hear much, but it's serious and it's bad. And on the other hand, my process got delayed because they had so many illegals that they have to handle. And then the legal ones have to be waiting in the line. So my process that was supposed to be 7 months to 9 months in the normal, let's say, time, took 3 years. And in this matter, part of it, I would say, okay, part of it was post-COVID. I'm giving a break because, there's a backlog, a lot of people applying and waiting. Okay. But after 1 year, the main problem, and we got the news because I was involved in the process and I want to get to know what's going on. And we received from the consulate a lot of videos that they do weekly, to update and to show. And it's like, oh, do our high demands of illegals here. We have to. So they say that is over 400% increased their job. And they were prioritizing those who were illegal here than us that are paying everything. You're paying for everything. You were doing the right thing. And it's like putting people in front of you in the queue line. Understand? Like if you're in a line, you were right, you were there. Then just putting people in front of you because, okay, they are already there, so they are priority. So in this hand, I don't think it's also fair for those who are trying to do the right thing. Understand? Like I know there's a lot of issues on that, but the scale that was being doing also, I think it should control that thing. I don't think any country could live like that. Understand? Like even in Brazil, we have some problems with the Venezuelans coming. I don't know if you guys live in places where you guys could see a lot of Venezuelans coming to Brazil. In some places was creating a big problem because Brazil wasn't really prepared for so many. And they have to be absorbed. They have to be, finding place to eat, finding place to live, finding place to do stuff. So at a certain point, I think things have to be a downsizing at least, let's say. That's my view, my experience. I don't know if you guys have anything different from this.
We see only by the news. Okay, we see bad, very bad things. Maybe father or mother separated or splitting for their kids. Okay, I guess there are some exaggeration in the police. Okay, I guess maybe it's not the right way to treat the immigrants because I am a descendant of immigrants from Italy. You was an immigrant in the U.S. And I guess it can be, they must be just fair. Okay, okay, if it is the right way or not the right way. But I guess now it's too harsh about the poor people. Okay, because are not the illegals, are criminal. Some of them are workers. They work in agriculture, maybe in McDonald's. Okay, a lot of them are just want to work. And I guess
Something very interesting. I heard something very interesting from a guy who comments on this. Like people that used to immigrate to the United States, let's say 20 years ago, they were people from a generation that you immigrate because you really want to work. People are here, they come and they are ready for anything you tell them to do, they're going to do it because they want to, a better life. They understand that through hard work is what they're going to do. But they say that lately there is a big number, and maybe because it's this new generation where people live an easier life, you know what I mean? They immigrate and they are not hard workers. They don't really stay in a job, or they be on their phones. They don't really do what they're supposed to do. So they are fired from here into that. They don't really come with this mentality of hard working and making things happen. And they fall into a lot of the benefits that are given, and they just come for the benefits. So there is no really on the other hand, and became like a lot of people. If you're talking about like a scale that is manageable, is one thing. But when these like 400%, you know what I mean? Like, whoa. So it's very hard to really absorb a lot of people, and a lot of people that really are not there really, like even a friend. I have a friend, for example, she's my best friend, and she's in Portugal. And she immigrated there. So she migrated, right? She migrated there. So she's there living with her husband and her son. Both of them are lawyers, and they are living in Lisbon. And she is getting so ashamed because of course, she's in this move of a lot of Brazilians going to Portugal, right? The Portuguese government, they made it very easy for Brazilians to come because they need people there, because Portuguese people are not having kids, so they are dying, and there is no next generation, basically speaking. Okay, so she's very ashamed because she's coming from Rio de Janeiro, and now on the news she was saying that when something happens, like someone was smuggled or someone was killed and robbed and all that, it's all Brazilian people doing this. And then she's very ashamed because she's like, oh my goodness, like I'm Brazilian, and in Portugal wasn't like that. Portugal was very safe. She's like, I coming from Rio, I walk down the street with my son. For me, it's paradise to be very safe. But now a lot of Brazilian people are coming, instead of really hardworking and really, there are a lot of pickpocketing. You notice pickpocketing?
Yeah, pickpockets.
Yeah, so a lot of pickpocketing people, and not just in Portugal, but in Europe. You know what I mean? So this is very sad. And I think that is not something that just happened here in America. It's something that is happening in Europe. A lot of immigrants are going there, but they're not really with this intention of, okay, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to make money, I'm going to invest, I'm going to contribute. Okay, so this country is receiving me. I can I can have a better life through hard work. No, I'm coming here, and if I cannot get it in a good way, I'm gonna do it in another way. It's like, I think this also maybe is a generational profile, I guess. So I found it something to I think consider. She was like ashamed to be Brazilian. She was saying like, oh my goodness, I say that I'm Brazilian, and I see this is changing the profile of the place. So yeah, but here is like a huge scale, right? It's way much more because everybody wants to come here. So there are goods and bads.
Okay. I mean, my experience in Brazil, the Cubans are coming, Venezuelans, Haitians, and there are very good workers, okay, people. People that comes from Venezuela, some of them, okay, maybe are criminals, but not the majority, okay. I guess they have the right for immigration, for working, okay, but if they are illegal or criminals, no. But I guess the majority just want to work. This is my vision.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, the for now at least, what they are doing, there is a specialized police called ICE. It's ICE. They are getting criminals. So I haven't heard really taking like people that are regular, like illegals. Well, to be very honest, illegal is anyone who comes here not legally. So you're already illegal, right? So
It's different from the criminals, okay.
yeah.
If it's
Now,
a criminal, okay, it's
technically
different.
speaking, not. Technically speaking, not. If you commit a crime of coming to a country that you're not supposed to come, you can be deported, because this is considered illegal. Legally speaking, I'm just saying what is legally speaking. Okay. Now, if you are illegal here and a criminal, from what I hear from the news, They are not taking families. And here also I have 2 Brazilian friends very close to me. And I have a Brazilian community on WhatsApp. None of them, and in this community is like almost 50 people, none of them have reported being threatened to, like they heard someone that is not a criminal in the sense of, breaking like being a threat for the society in this matter. Nobody actually make any comments. So from what I see, is just people that are like, in gangs and stuff that have some records they are going after. Because I myself, I don't feel I have green card. And even people are saying, oh, even people with green card, you guys have to be careful. I don't know if you guys heard anything about it, but we are all good. Like nobody here, like I have Brazilian friends, nobody is actually concerned about this, understand? Let's see how it goes.
Okay,
All right.
okay. Thank you,
Thank
thank you.
Yes, Maria, please.
I just want to say that I think that it's amazing that you visited so many countries. And I have a question. I wanted to ask if there was any country that was really special to you that you visited during your volunteering work.
It's a difficult one, eh?
Yeah. I think, ooh la la, I have to think about something.
Because Marta, you said
Sorry.
South Africa was top 3. You must have a top 1, 2, 3 countries. Come on. You said South Africa was the 3rd.
Oh, okay. I think is because there is a difference between, like, for example, South Africa, it's very beautiful and the diversity and everything, and the people, and especially for me, because I've met more people than I would do just in one visit, right? But I had a very beautiful experience with people from Mozambique, for example. I did a land team, is when the ship has like 8 vans, and I was one of the drivers. So I drove a team like 13 hours away from the ship, like countryside, and we spent 10 days off the ship and living with these 2 communities. It was 5 days in one community and 5 days in another community. And like seeing the way of life was so basic, was so, but they were so lovely, the kids, and there was this place that we are driving. I cannot tell the names because the names are so like Ugo Ongo, like I cannot remember. But we are driving in the road with a translator, right? So my team, the whole team we are 9 people, but then we split. So we are like 5 here and 4, and then we switch, right? So we could visit 2 different places. So we were 6, like 5 plus the translator. And then, I mean, I was one of the translators because in Mozambique they speak Portuguese, but when you go down to the tribes, you need a translator for the tribal language, right? So here we go to visit a village, and then the road goes in like a lot of holes and everything, and then you go to a very bad road, and then you don't see the road anymore. Then I thought like, I think we are lost. There's no more road here. And then the translator like, no, let's go walking now. So we have to leave the van, get all the backpacks and all the supplies that we do a donation to them. And then we have to walk. And then we walk like for 15, 20 minutes, I don't know. And there was like, there's nothing. There's nothing here. There's no road. We have to really walk through the bush. Like, really? I was like, I think he's lost. And then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, we got this place with like, I think 10 houses. But before we arrived, like, I don't know how many, but about 50 kids, like they just came singing to welcome us. But it's not just any kind of singing, like it's so beautiful. They sing in different tones, and one says something and then the other kids respond, and they surrounded us. And they welcome us all the way to the village. And they kept singing, and then the adults came and they started dancing, and it was like for half an hour just to welcome us. So that was so beautiful. The place is very poor, you know what I mean? Like if you say, oh, this place, oh, no, it's not. It's very, very simple, basic shacks, and but the loving and the kindness, and they're so sweet, and they welcome us with so much love that it makes it like unforgettable. Understand? And it was great. We could help them. We could communicate, and there was this family. Later on, we learned in the second village, one of the leaders of the tribe, he got malaria. And we learned that he wasn't in the meeting because he was sick. So we went all the way to his house to pray for him, to bring food, to help. And then we saw that half of his shack there was no roof. Just half was with roof, and the other half was like. And then we asked the translator, like, why is his house not covered? And it's like, oh, because he fell sick. He got malaria, so he cannot really go to the market. He needs to borrow a bicycle from someone, get all the sticks and the like this straw. There's a special plant that they do, and he has to go like for almost 45 minutes on the bike, get to this place, buy it, and come back, and then he has to go himself up there, And then my team, we were just like, where is this village? It's like, for us by car is like 10 minutes, right? It's very close. And then we actually, on the ship, you have what we call pocket money, right? It's like a small little money. And then this was one of the last days actually. So we decided, like, let's see how much money we have and let's do this for him. I tell you, like in 2 hours, we went to the village, we bought this stuff. The translator contact another neighbor that could know how to do the roof, So he went there and he laid everything like in 2 hours, his house was done. He was so thankful. And we were so humbled that we could just come and help this whole family, because they were explaining, like in 2 weeks, the rain motion is going to start to rain a lot because it's going to get the rain season. And his house was open. So he was very concerned because, they don't have much, but you don't want it to get wet, right? And it's humbling, like, oh my goodness. It was like, I tell you, like how much money we put together. I think it's like, I don't know, $10-15. Not really a lot of money, you know what I mean? Like, and with that, we could go provide with the car, the van from the organization, and we just help him. And he was so thankful. And this kind of stuff, like it makes
Marta, sorry to interrupt. But tell Maria the most beautiful place you've been, like a city, not a country, a city. Tell her, Maria, when you're older and you have a dream, you have to go to that place.
Visually, as I am a beach girl, because I'm from Vitória, right? I love the beach. I love swimming. I love the sea life. Go to Seychelles. Seychelles is an island in the Pacific. And the Pacific water is different than the Atlantic water. You can tell the color is different. And so Seychelles, maybe you can research there. It's you have like a few small little islands, but you have the bigger island there. I think in 1 hour you walk through the whole island there. Is beautiful. It's very, very, very beautiful water, transparent. I did snorkeling there. It's awesome. It's very peaceful. And they have a good structure as well for tourists. So yeah, if you go for a tourism, Seychelles is amazing. Also, you can go to Thailand in an island called Phuket. Not island, actually, they have Phuket is a beach area, is a city with a very nice area, but you go to Fifi Islands. It's amazing. It's like two beaches. They get together, and there is this big rock in the middle, and there is this little mountain, so you can see from the top. And they have a resort there. It's also beautiful. There's so many beautiful places.
All right,
If you
Maria,
like the
afterwards,
sea.
I'm going to put it on the chat for you. Okay, these two places.
Yeah.
All right, Linda, with the last question, because we just ran out of time. It's already 9 o'clock here for us. All right, let's hear Linda out, please.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Marta. It's so impressive, all the things you told us. That's amazing. What was the most amazing thing you've eaten during your trips? And what do you still make at home? What did you learn from another woman or someone else that you also make now when you're in America?
Great
Okay, so let's talk
question.
about food. My Brazilian friend is gonna like this one. I think, please listen, it's not a prejudice, but to be very honest, as soon as you start getting further Asia, you stop asking what you are eating, because seriously, it's very shocking. Whatever you go to the street fairs is like, what? So and because we are hosted by many people, like, right, to host the teams and stuff, I actually stopped asking what was it, because I rather not know, just for like, because it's very unpolite not eat what is given to you. And this is any country, like everybody would like to see you eating their food. But I think the one that I'm aware of, because I think I ate some stuff when we were in Malaysia, I guess. Yeah, I think it was Malaysia. I ate crickets. I ate fried crickets. They fry big ones like this. And then you can choose if you want to, with the pulp that when you bite explodes in your mouth, like bubbles in your mouth, like, or if you wanted the dry one. So I tried the dry one because I thought it would be less disgusting. But it was tasting actually like fish, because it was a lady in the street, and it's very common there. They do a lot in Malaysia. There's a lot of street food. I don't know if you guys ever been there. They basically don't eat at home. Cheap food that is extremely cheap, and they eat 5 to 7 meals a day, and it's like on the street all the time. It's on the street, like, so they have like this food tents everywhere. The kitchen in their homes is extremely small because they don't really cook at home. Like, I went to this friend's house, and I lived in Sao Paulo, so I know what is a small kitchen, right? So they have like this really small, like, you have only like a space for a microwave and a small fridge, because they don't cook home. And they eat like spicy soups for breakfast. It's like very different from what you have in Brazil, like very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I ate those crickets, and I think so they fried in this fish oil, so it was tasting fish. And you cannot really think much, because if you put it in your mouth, you start thinking, oh, I'm eating this. But it was
Is there
fish.
something you still make at home?
No, this was the most
not, but
exotic.
something else. Have you eaten something that you still make at home? That's my question.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was something
No,
exotic
no
and something
problem.
that I cook.
Yes.
Something that I cook is Mexican food, because one of my best
Okay.
friends there, she's from Mexico, and she taught me a few tricks. So I like to do some Mexican food. So I would say that would be the one that I still do it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. But food, guys, food is something really, really personal, like, for them. It's very nice.
Yes.
Thanks
All
a
right,
lot.
Marta, we really ran out of time. It's 5 past 9, and I tell always it's just 1 hour. but I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do this for 1 more hour, 2 hours, no problem. Because the way you talk, we just memorize, we're always listening, and it was definitely amazing. Wow, what a life experience that you got. And it's amazing that after all these years, you still know so much, like the places, the names, and the experiences. I wouldn't be able to do that. So I really appreciated you sharing this all with us. And I
Thank
think
you so
everybody
much.
else here as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. I hope you guys have a very, very good day.
Yes, it was amazing. So I hope to see you soon here. It's really nice to have someone like you, traveler of the world, also with the language. Your English is amazing, and also with all the experiences. And guys, next Saturday we have Maria here from Poland. She's going to be hosting her session as well, and I hope to see you there as well. Maria, please don't get nervous. It's going to be just fine. For the rest,
Okay.
have a good evening, and thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Boki.
Okay.